Fellas, in today's video, I'll be showing you how to play Namor in this Marvel Rivals guide. Namor is a duelist, and a heavy one at that, who can summon sea creatures to help turn the tides of battle. He's very simple to learn, but can take some getting used to with actually playing. Not having too many moves is what makes Namor so accessible, making him a great choice for anyone wanting to play a duelist. So let's get on with how to play him. But first, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Marvel Rivals. Let me know below if there's anything that you want to see next. Now, let's get into it. So starting off with arguably his most important ability, we have the Aquatic Dominion. This will summon a monstrous spawn that will automatically attack enemies just like a turret. It can be used twice in quick succession. They last about 8 seconds with about 100 health each, and they hit for 17 damage with about 2 shots per second. Landing crits will make them shoot faster, and then you can do a targeted attack as well. When they're in the berserker state, they do less damage than normal at about 11 damage a second, but they attack 2.5 times faster with their shot speed. It is going to be a lot to know and to keep up on, especially how to utilize them, but this is going to be the most important thing that you do with Namor. It's a lot to know, but basically crits will make them attack faster, and landing an actual basic attack will replenish your cooldown faster, and you can do selective targeting. This should always be in constant use, so get used to throwing them out. Now we have his base attack. Landing a hit will reduce the cooldown of your minions, and landing a critical hit will put them into that berserk state. His base attack does about 70 damage, and is an arched projectile. You are able to land crits, and it goes about 120 meters a second. So while not a hit scan, it is pretty easy to hit your targets. What's very nice about it is that it's very powerful, and you can hit from very far away. There is no damage drop off, and when comboed up with your spawns, this will make taking down enemies an easy feat. As far as general attacks, this will be your bread and butter that you use. This does allow for multiple playstyles, and it feels really good seeing chunks of enemy health disappear upon landing a hit. His next attack is Wrath of the Seven Seas, and with that, when you throw your trident at an enemy, this will direct your spawn to perform an enhanced attack on the nearest enemy. Then when you actually hit the target, your spawn will enter the berserk state, gaining increased attack speed. Now this is very good for directing which target you want to take down. Now this isn't as strong as your base attack, doing about 40 to 60 damage depending. But when you have your spawns up, which you most certainly should always have, it's good for dispersing damage between your spawns, as well as your own personal attacks. This does have a 6-second cooldown, and it's very useful for getting a focused, constant attack on someone else while you finish off another target. The next ability we are going to look at is the Frozen Spawn, when you're teamed up with Luna Snow. Now very similar to his regular spawn, the Frozen Spawn comes in with a nice icy finish, and they do last about 2 seconds longer than the regular spawn. They have double the health, and they do add about a second or so slow debuff when they do land a hit. Now these spawns do hit harder than your regular ones for 25 damage for the regular hit, with 16 damage for their enhanced hit. And again, the enhanced version will attack for about 2.5 times faster, so when possible, you absolutely want to be using this all of the time. This is one of the better team ups in the game, and it does have about a 19-second cooldown. Next, we have his shift ability, Blessing of the Deep. You dash about 7 meters up in the air, and you get a protective barrier, so you can move around a bit for better positioning. This lasts 3 seconds, and you do have a 15-second cooldown. When you're in team fights, this can be a great way to remove aggro while your team swoops in. And this is really fantastic for getting better positioning and being sneaky while playing aggressively. Last up, we have his ult with a word I do not know how to say, so I'm not going to butcher it. The short and sweet of it is that Big Fish comes in and hits for a lot of damage. As you can see from the field effect, there's 2 rings here. The inner ring, which is about 3 meters, then the outer ring, which is about 8 meters. The inner ring will hit for 500 damage, and the outer ring will hit for about 200. And this also can be placed up to 30 meters away. So that's absolutely great for choke points, objectives, and clusters. It also disables the enemy's mobility abilities for 1.5 seconds. It could be a little bit longer, but those precious seconds can really help sway the battle. And it's also really useful for chaining into combos to get the most amount of damage in possible. So that's the gist of his abilities. Let's get on with how to play him and some matchmaking. As a ranged DPS, you don't have to worry about getting your attack started and dealing with up close and personal enemies. If things do go off the deep end, you can use your Blessing of the Deep to get out of dodge, reposition, and reset your attacks all over again. From my time playing with him, looking at the combos, all of them follow the same path of starting with the aquatic Dominion, which is his minion spawn. So some good combos to keep on hand are tossing out the minion, doing your base attack, tossing out another minion, Wrath of the Seven Seas to get in some quick damage, as well as to direct where your turrets are shooting, and then another base attack. Again, every time you land a crit, your minions will shoot faster to get in more damage, and it reduces the cooldown. Another combo to keep on hand is toss out a minion, do your base attack, use your second attack to direct the turrets, and then use Blessing of the Deep to reposition. And then the third combo you might find you're often using is throw the minion, use your base attack, use your second attack to direct your turrets, then throw down your ult, and then another minion. Throw down your ult for some good damage, and by this point you should be able to throw down another minion replenish, do your base attack, direct your turret, and then use Blessing of the Deep to get out. A lot of it is going to be directing your turrets and replenishing them, as well as doing heavy damage with your base attack. But don't be afraid to chain in the ultimate. It works really good in the middle of his combos as well. As you play, you'll learn what is best and for when, but getting your spawns out, reducing the cooldowns, and directing their attacks for either fast kills or assistance on taking on multiple enemies will be the core of playing Namor. Again, speaking of combos, especially during your combos to extend them further. This can trap enemies in an area or a fight, and getting your spawn back out can make dispatching them a quick feat. Namor is not a frontline DPS. With only 275 health, dealing with too many people at once can lead to quickly dying. If you are a dive player, playing someone else will be the better choice. A great spot for him is near the healers, as he can snipe people off pretty well, and his spawn makes for great defense and can shred if you land your second attack. This doesn't mean you can't make big plays however. If you're good enough with your aim, you can get up to cheeky spots, drop 2 turrets, and rip apart their backline within seconds. One trick and one of the biggest things that sets apart a good Namor from a great one is to know when to use your bubble aggressively to gain positional advantage, off angles and sneaky flanks to break upon a fight. You can also throw your squids above head level onto walls. Don't just place them on the floor. People will spend extra seconds trying to find your squid, which is all you need to pick them off with your team. You don't need to kill with your ult, although it is nice. It does pretty hefty knockdown, and it blocks characters like Magneto and Thor from using their ultimates, although it will not cancel them. You can also drop your turrets from different lines of sights, but ensure that they're not blocked. You want to make sure these are always off cooldown. You can also place your minions on the convoy to have a moving turret. As a general, attack gameplay should be stay behind the tanks like Magneto or Doctor Strange. You can second attack, do your base attack, second attack again. This will kill off most of the supports. You also want to keep an eye out for divers like Spider-Man, Thor, Captain America, or even Black Panther. A good workaround for dealing with them is to place a turret and then throw your second attack at the divers to get the turrets to target them, and then you can use your bubble to buy some time. By this point, the invaders should be exiting or on lower health, and so killing them after your bubble runs out will be something simple to do. You and your healer are going to be best buddies. Basically, you two should never die in the back lines if you're facing one attacker. One turret near the back in case someone flanks. You get notified with the attack animation if their turret starts attacking. For domination, depending on the team makeup, it's okay to be in the front lines to secure points with turrets. It will make it super hard for anyone to invade. Another good tip is to pop your bubble with the target locked ults like Star-Lord. You'll drag aggro off your team. You will probably die, but it's a very good trade. So that's it for this Namor guide and Marvel Rivals. If you found this video helpful or think there's something missing, let me know in the comments below. And hey, hit that like button if you're still watching, subscribe for more videos like this if you haven't already, and stay tuned for the next one.